Right, today we're going to study the Makkaṭa Sutta, the discourse on the monkey, as 47.7, or translated as SD, Sutta Discovery, 41.7. Lots of sevens. So from the title, it's obvious that there's going to be a lot of imageries, parables, centering around the monkey. This sutta is about meditation, how the meditation, especially mental focus, mental peace, mental stillness, keeps away Māra. So you have two images here, that of a monkey and that of Māra. We will look at both of these in some detail in a moment. Here you find in the Buddha's teachings, very often the Buddha would use figures of speech. So that there are at least two basic approaches in the Buddha's teaching, and it's very important according to the Anguttara Nikaya, the Book of Tools. The Buddha reminds us to be aware what level is the sutta talking. The sutta that we are reading, what level is it? In other words, is it using direct sutta dhamma language, direct dhamma language, or is it using the language of stories, imageries? This is one of the secrets of the success of the Buddha's teaching. The language is flexible and interactive, dynamic, if you like. Language, words are used to help us understand the Dharma, not to imprison the Dharma, not to petrify, not to suffocate the Dharma. In other words, we use words to free the Dharma. Buddhism rejects dogma because dogma fixes the truth. Fix it in a way where you're stuck with it and you can't move on, so to speak. Yeah? Remember, the purpose of meditation is not just mental peace. You cannot attain mental peace, not to talk about awakening or even stream winning. You cannot attain mental peace if you have too much views. Of course, we all, as unawakened beings, we must have views. The views just come to our minds talk, telling us, I like this, I don't like that. Those are views. We can't help it. However, we can help it if we meditate. In a sense, to meditate means to let go of views. We let go of views about our body, about seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, and so on, thinking, and so on. We let go of all views, bit by bit. That's why we use the breath. We center our mind on the breath so that we can let go of views, at least temporarily. The more views you have, the stronger you hold on to the views, the more difficult for you to meditate. We can talk a lot about meditation. We can talk about all kinds of wonderful experiences, attainments, magical powers. The more you talk about it, the more you have not attained it. Notice how interesting this is. The people who talk about all these wonderful things, they talk about this teacher has got this power, that teacher that power. You find they usually are not meditators. Or if they do meditate, they are not calm enough. There's always something missing. Because why? We're stuck with the views. We have to let go of these views if we want really to have peace of mind. In other words, if you are truly a good meditator, anyone can stand in front of you, and you, who have meditated, have this heart of loving kindness. You openly accept this other person, or listen to this other person. Even if this person has a different view from you, different religion, different race, different culture, you accept them. at least to the extent that they are not being violent or very negative, that it's very difficult to handle them. But even then, we send a loving kindness to them in their absence. So the point is, to be a Buddhist is not to know more and more things. To be a Buddhist is to train our body and speech so that they are calm, and that in turn help us to calm our minds and hearts, calm body, calm speech, peaceful mind, peaceful heart, lead on to liberating wisdom. So this is the basic structure of the progressive way of Buddhist teachings. And you find in later Buddhism, they talk about sudden awakening and so on. So you find a new development already. Very fashionable, very modern even. But nobody gets enlightened that way. Just as the ocean deepens gradually, so does the Buddhist training. This is stated clearly in the Vinaya and in other teachings in the suttas. So, again and again the Buddha says, the progress in Dhamma practice is gradual. So, here in this sutta, the Makkaṭa Sutta, you see the imagery of a mountain. You know, these monkeys are living in the mountains. As in the mountains grow, kind of ascend or build up, become higher and higher gradually too. So this idea of having a gradual development is very important in Buddhism. We notice even in our meditation, we gradually grow. Even our understanding of Buddhism is gradual. Of course, there are moments that appear to be sudden, but it only appears to be sudden. Take the durian tree, for example. It takes about 7 years, to grow. It will bear fruit. And you can't pluck this fruit. You have to wait at the right time. This fruit will just drop by itself. Of course, the moment of dropping seems sudden. But even the moment of awakening, although it might be sudden, you can't really notice it. In fact, teachers who are wise often tell us that the moment of awakening can only be known in retrospect. It's like passing an exam. You sit for an exam and then you write the answers, you submit your papers. At which point have you passed the exam? You don't really know. You may see the notice up on the board saying that you have passed the exam, but you don't know this. When you go to the board, you look at the list of names and say, oh, my name is I've passed. From that moment, you know you have passed. So in a sense, stream winning and awakening is also like that. You look back and then you say, okay, these are the things. Now I'm sure I have awakened. And you have this sense of peace and calmness. You don't behave in a funny way. There's no such thing as crazy wisdom. It will never bring you awakening. It's calm, it's peaceful, it's joyful. And then you build yourself up from there. If you need to go further to attain the highest arahathood. But while we live here on this worldly level, there's always Māra. Who is Māra? What is Māra? Māra is the embodiment of all our senses. All the 5 senses, all the 6 senses, including the mind. The eye is Māra, the ear is Māra, the nose is Māra, the tongue is Māra, the body is Māra, the mind is Māra. What does that mean? One meaning of Māra is death. Of course, here we can take death as something, the ending of something. Okay? So in other words, all these experiences to the senses must come to an end. A simple understanding would be the all impermanent. So that's Māra. Māra is the end maker. Of course, we are more familiar with Māra as this frightening looking being, But what's interesting, if you look at Māra, in all the stories of early Buddhism, Māra has never really killed anyone. Māra just like to frighten people, especially when they meditate. And interestingly, mostly it be the women, mostly the monks do get frightened by Māra. But if you look at the story about the nuns in the Samyutta, for example, you find Māra loves frightening women. For example, Māra will make terrible noise to frighten a meditator, or suddenly make everything go dark. Right? So it's all in our minds, really. This fear. So they go to the Buddha and say, oh, I heard this sound, I saw this darkness. Buddha would say, it's Māra, don't bother too much about this. Go back, meditate, send your loving kindness. Many of the wise nuns, they know Māra very well. So while they're meditating, the more intelligent philosophical nuns start thinking, who made this body? Who created me? And so on and so forth. So these thoughts start coming. Then the wise nun says, Māra, I know you. There's no creator. They're all conditions. And then at the end of the sutta, it is said, Māra says, oh, she knows me, the nun knows me, and Māra disappears there and then. So here is a story. The story here emphasizes the fact that Māra is overcome through knowledge or through wisdom. Ignorance brings fear. Craving brings fear. How is Māra overcome? By knowledge. We understand all these are mind-made. So, when you understand this is mind-made, Māra is mind-made. Then you go back to your meditation. Right? So, this is a very good example of how mind training helps us to also have mind control in that sense. Then you liberate your mind, you free your mind. It's also said that if you are deep in meditation, especially when you attain jhanas or dhyanas, Māra is blinded. Māra is not able to see. In other words, you are at peace with yourself. Your senses do not control you anymore. Right? So here in this sutta, you find that there are these monkeys, who are used as images of how foolish they are, how wise they are, and how if they're foolish, Māra will catch them and so on. Okay. Now let's just examine a little bit more on the nature of the title. Makkaṭa means monkey. The monkey is a very popular figure in Buddhist stories and teachings. In fact, there are a number of words for monkey. Makkaṭa is one of them. It's not so well known actually, Makkaṭa, as you see, of course. And here, Makkaṭa, the monkey in this sutta, in a sense represents our mind. In fact, most of the imageries of the monkeys represents our minds. The monkey also appears in a number of other suttas. For example, the Asuttava Sutta 1, S 12.61. Here the monkey is represented as swinging from tree to tree. And the meaning of this imagery is that the mind always needs an object. So the monkey grasping the branch, so it needs an object to hold on to. The mind must always hold on to an object. Then there is in the Tanda Vagga, you have Dhammapada 334. You see the image of a monkey seeking fruits in trees. And here is where we heedlessly look for sensual pleasures. We do not know when to stop, like being caught up with something. Playing computer games, for example, gambling, womanizing, whatever. So this is running after sensual pleasures. A monkey plucking fruits from trees, seeking fruits in the trees. Then you have the Suttaṭṭhaka Sutta, Sutta Nipata 791. Here you see the monkey holding onto the branch, releasing it. So here, releasing the branch is, holding onto the branch is like that. That's the way lust controls our mind. So we've got to let go of it. So these are some imageries of monkeys in various suttas. besides Makkaṭa, you have another word for monkey in Pali. It's called Vanara. Vanara. Vanara, loosely translated as the man in the forest, if you like. Right? So something like a forester, someone who lives in the forest. And then you have Kapi. Kapi is another word for monkey, often found in the Jataka stories, for example, like the Mahakapi Jataka, for example. So these are a few words for monkey in Pali: Makkaṭa, Vanara, Kapi. Now, in this story also, in this sutta, you have the 5 limbs of the monkeys. The 5 limbs are the 2 arms, 2 legs, and the head. Okay? So these 5 limbs again is a very well-known imagery. You find the 5 limbs are also mentioned in the imagery of the tortoise in terms of meditation. But in the case of the tortoise, the meditation imagery is a positive one. We are advised to be like a tortoise when we meditate. The tortoise, on seeing the jackal coming, a jackal is like a fox, it's a forest, wild animal in the forest. The jackal comes and sees the tortoise, and this tortoise immediately pulls all the 4 legs and of course the tail and the head in also. Here the 5 limbs of the tortoise are the 4 legs and the head. Everything is kind of sealed within the safety of the shell. So this hungry jackal comes along, sniffs around the turtle or tortoise and cannot find any opening. And then it just leaves the shell, the tortoise goes away. So the tortoise is safe. So here what does it mean? It's a very beautiful analogy, meaning when we meditate, we have to let go, free all the 5 physical senses. We do this whenever we meditate, not just on Vesak Day. No? Vesak Day we free birds, right? Better than freeing birds are to free our 5 senses. When we free birds, it is a symbolic gesture of reminding us we have to meditate by letting go of the 5 senses, to be free of the 5 senses for a while we meditate. In the case of the monkey is going to get trapped with all the 5 limbs, as we will notice in a moment. Okay? So here I'm just giving you an introduction. In fact, in this sutta, the monkeys represent human beings, or more specifically, the human mind, or the mind in general. And there are 3 kinds of terrain in the Himalayas that the monkey inhabit. The first kind, in section 3 of the sutta, the terrain is inaccessible and hostile, said to be rough and rugged tracts where neither monkeys nor humans inhabit. So this place is empty. It's like nirvana. You might say the place of nirvana. In a sense, nirvana is empty. Nirvana is never full, but when you're enlightened, you go there, so to speak, again. It's not a place. Remember, it's not a place. Then in section 4.1, you have this second terrain, which is rough and rugged, but where only monkeys inhabit. So it's also a safe place, because humans find it difficult to go there. So this is a kind of represent a place where a situation where we do practice any kind of moral virtue or mental stillness, so we are quite safe. Then the third kind of terrain, section 4.2, you have, which is level and delightful. And here is where you find both monkeys and humans have access to. And this is where the monkeys get trapped. So this, of course, represents our world. And there are other interesting words which are mentioned, which were our explain as we go along in the suttas. We will now go straight into the suttas. Page 83. The Discourse on the Monkey, S47.7. At Savatthi. There the Blessed One addressed the monks, Bhikshus. Bhante, the monks replied to the Blessed One in assent. The Blessed One said this. There are bhikshus in the Himalayas, the king of mountains, rough and rugged tracks, where neither monkeys nor humans go to. There are bhikshus in the Himalayas, the king of mountains, rough and rugged tracks, where monkeys go to but not humans. There are bhikshus in the Himalayas, the king of mountains, level, delightful terrains where both monkeys and humans go to. Okay, so these are three kinds of terrains. And then next section is about the hunters and so on. There are bhikshus along the monkey trails. Here there refers to this very pleasant place. Okay? There are bhikshus along the monkey trails. Hunters set a trap of bird lime to trap the monkeys. There are bhikshus, monkeys that are neither foolish nor playful, seeing that trap would stay away. Right? So there are intelligent monkeys. They know this trap, so they will never go near it. In the sutras also, you find very often the Bodhisattva is depicted as a monkey, and the monkey is very wise. And various Jataka stories will depict this wise monkey warning the other monkeys. He is usually the king of the monkeys. He will warn the other monkeys. For example, he will say, when you come to this pool, be very careful, do not straight away drink the water, wait for me, I will come and check first whether there are monsters that devour monkeys or not, right? But we don't know what those monsters are. It could be some kind of crocodile or some wild animals in the water, kind of these monkey-eating animals, predators that live in the water. So, and very often you have this wise monkey saving the other monkeys, right? So the wise monkeys in this sutta, they know the traps and they keep away from it. 5.3. But there is a monkey that is foolish and playful, who, seeing the trap, would approach it and grasp it with his hand. It gets stuck there, right? So here, maybe they use bird lime on the piece of trunk. In Malaysia, maybe in the old Singapore, they would use something like even an old coconut, so they drill a hole into something round, or maybe a bottle gourd, and they put something inside, maybe a bit of banana or a piece of banana inside. So this monkey will put a hand in and then grasp the fruit, and then the hunter will come and approach. But this monkey will never let go of the fruit in the trap. So it is bogged down, fettered, hindered by this heavy trap. It could be a coconut or some, bottle gourd that is weighted down. So this monkey cannot run. It's got this heavy weight, the fetter, so the hunter can easily catch him. So the monkey is so silly. All he got to do is just let go. Pull out the hand as he can scamper off very quickly, and the hunter won't be able to catch him. So this is a very good example where if we do not let go of the senses, you'll never be able to get peace of mind. If you don't get peace of mind, you can never get concentration, not to talk about dhyana. So this monkey's hand gets stuck there. Thinking, I'll free my paw, he grasps it with his second paw. Second paw also got stuck. Thinking, I'll free both my paws, then he uses his legs. And the legs, the feet also got stuck there, so all the forearms got stuck. Then thinking, I'll free both my paws and both my feet, and he grasps this trap with his snout, the nose. And the nose also gets stuck there. And it's impossible to run anywhere like that. This poor monkey is stuck. Now there's a problem here, because this kind of glue is so strong, you don't free yourself from it, you know. So this is probably a trap where the monkeys will be killed, right? So there's some difficult passages here. We're not sure whether the different words, meaning they're trapped, the monkey is removed, the monkey is killed, the monkey is burned, and so on. So here, from the trap, we have a good idea that, you know, these monkeys are trapped for food, actually. 6.1. Thus pictures a monkey lies trapped in 5 points, right? 5 of the limbs, and howls. The monkey howls. I mean, of course, when the monkey howls, the hunter knows the monkey is trapped. He has fallen into misfortune, fallen into ruin, for the hunter sets to work as he likes with him. So it's like Māra. So if you're caught up with your senses, and Māra will control you. Then the hunter, having speared or pierced him without loosening him, left on that very same piece of wood and departs to where he pleases. Even so, pictures, it is with one who wanders in the wrong pastures, in the field of others. So notice here, the hunter pierces the monkey with a spear, so he kills the monkey. So in other words, it's monkey meat. So that is the parable. Now the Buddha gives the teaching in this connection. 7.2. Therefore, bhikshus, do not wander in the wrong pasture, in the field of others. Paravisaya. We can also translate this as the field on the far side, the field on the other side. Right? As they say, the grass on the other side is greener, but not always safe. Bhikshus, when you wander in the wrong pasture, in the field of others, or in the far field or far range, Māra will gain access into your minds and will get you as an object of thought. So here, these monkeys are living in this very pleasant level ground, right? So the people come trap the monkeys. The monkey is easily trapped. Over here, Māra is the trap, actually. So if we let go of our senses, we are calm, then Māra will not catch us. We don't fall into the trap. Now, this is a very important advice given to us as lay people. As you know, even lay people who enjoy sensual pleasures can attain stream winning. But isn't sensual pleasure dangerous? Isn't that Māra's trap? Well, sensual pleasures are sensual pleasures. I mean, objects of the senses are simply objects of the senses. It's how our mind treats them. If we understand the nature of the impermanence, let's say good food, you enjoy it, and then you have enough, you let go of it. You go for holiday and you come back and you forget about it. You watch a movie, and if you have the time, or you don't have the time, it's okay. So in other words, you really enjoy something happily when you have a chance to do it, and you are not troubled when you can't enjoy them. In fact, when you do enjoy them, it brings you great joy that it makes you even happier, so you can meditate better. Basically, you know when to stop, and you deeply respect the 5 precepts. Of course, occasionally you may have difficulty keeping the precepts. If you examine why, precepts are precepts, they are not commandments, right? So in other words, those are our weaker points, aspects of our lives, and we have to strengthen them. The precepts are reminding us to strengthen these 5 aspects of our life as embodied in the 5 precepts. So if you can do this, then your chances of becoming a stream winner in this life is very certain. In fact, there's no other way. If we do not work hard in this direction, don't talk about becoming an arhat. You can even become a stream winner. And if you don't work hard to be a stream winner, then the chances of being reborn in a happy human state is very difficult in the next life. The chances are that we are more likely to be reborn in the lower realms, or those unhappy states, in other words. So we have only one option, and I strongly advise you all to think seriously about this, to aspire towards stream winning in this life, so that you work on towards awakening gradually, progressively. So the Buddha goes a little deeper into the teaching now, section 8. And what, bhikshus, is the wrong posture? The feel of others. That is to say, the 5 chords of sense pleasures. So Māra are the 5 cords of sense pleasure. They're called cords, like ropes, because it ties, hold us back. What are the 5? Forms cognized by the eye that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. Alright? So you look at the rest, you find there are 5 things here. Form, sound, smell, taste, touches. So just to do with the 5 senses. This is Māra's realm. Here, forms cognized, experienced by the eye. And we see this as desirable, and it arouses lust. The meaning is that we have to understand that all these things are impermanent, and you have to let go of that. Let go of them sooner or later. Don't be attached to them. That's the meaning. It's not to say good food is bad, or living in a comfortable home is bad. Not at all. It means if you have a chance to do that, go ahead. And if you don't have a chance to do that, it's fine. That's the meaning here, for lay people. Yeah? So same thing with all the 5 senses. Whatever you hear, beautiful music, yeah, it's nice, okay, enjoy it. You don't have a chance to hear it, never mind. So I'll just read this part for reflection. Forms cognized by the eye that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. Sounds cognized by the ear that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. Smells cognized by the nose that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. Taste cognized by the tongue that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. Touches cognized by the body that are desirable, agreeable, pleasurable, lovable, connected with sensual desire, arousing lust. This, bhikshus, is not a monk's pasture, the feel of others, or the forage. Notice, the Buddha is telling the monks, this is not a place for you to go. Here, monk means meditator. Okay? So if you are a meditator, same thing. This is not for you to go there while you are meditating. Let go of attachment to the 5 senses. Focus on the mind, focus on the breath. So the sutta closes with keeping to the posture. It's a very famous imagery of the posture. Keep to the posture, bhikshus, the horn of our ancestors, or the feel of our own fathers. Bhikshus, when you keep to your postures, the haunt of our ancestors, Māra will not find you as an object of his consciousness. Right? So he's using poetic language. Yeah? Why did the Buddha use this kind of words? The haunt of our ancestors. Now, there are a bit of notes here, note 29. You can see introduction 1 .3.3 if you like. Go Petika Visaya. Petika Visaya actually is an ancient term used by the Brahmins. It means the abode of the deceased, okay, where the dead go to. So what the Buddha has done here, he uses this term and gives it a new meaning. This is one way of correcting a wrong view of the Brahmins, if you like. So this is where, to the Buddhists, the hall of ancestors refer to meditation. Horn of the ancestors here, or the field of our own fathers, refer to satipatthana, the four satipatthana. Who are our fathers here? This is the Buddha, our teachers, the past Buddhas. So here, very interesting, see how the Buddha teaches us not to get caught up with words. People can say anything in any religion, but in our minds, we know the meaning. For example, we say good, right? So Buddhists have their own understanding of good. We're not interested to bother about what other religions or other philosophers think about good. They have the freedom to do that. So we should not be so worried, counting the cows of others, right? So sometimes you find some Buddhists or even non-Buddhists today, they have a lot of free time, a lot of money, and they have the internet, so they chit-chat and discuss all kinds of things. But they don't practice peace of mind. And suddenly they die, gone. People may spend a minute of silence with them, but that's about it. They're forgotten. They have left nothing worthwhile for us in terms of teachings or wisdom. In a sense, a wasted life. Imagine a good teacher who, like the Buddha, whose levels of teaching, even when he has passed away, the teaching is still with us after 2,600 years. That is why we show our gratitude to the Buddha. So it's very important to reflect how are we living. Are we wasting our time on the internet and other social networking, talking about other things which are not really important, gossiping. So this is where use our time wisely, usefully. Now the closing, section 11. And what bhikshus is a monk's pasture, or if you like, a meditator's pasture, the haunt of our ancestors. That is to say, the four focuses of mindfulness. What are the four? Here bhikshus, a monk dwells exertive, clearly aware, mindful, observing or watching the body in the body, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. Okay, so this is the first satipatthana called kayanupassana, contemplation of the body. I'll read through first, I will explain. He dwells exertive, clearly aware, mindful, observing feelings in the feelings, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. He dwells exertive, clearly aware, mindful, observing the mind in the mind, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. He dwells exertive, clearly aware, mindful, observing dharmas in the dharmas, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. This bhikshu is a monk's pasture, the horn of our ancestors. Look at brackets 1, kayanupassana. This is the first. Okay, in summary, you have number 1, contemplation on the body, number 2 on feelings, number 3 on the mind, number 4 on dharmas, or realities, if you like, phenomena. Now these four, the four foundation of mindfulness, or four focuses of mindfulness, for us who are beginners or not awakened or not attained jhanas, we practice them progressively. In other words, when we meditate, where do we begin? Where do we focus? We focus on the body. So the kayanupassana comes first, right? Contemplation of the body comes first. We watch the body. Body here means what? the most famous aspect of the body is the breath. We watch the breath, right? And then you have also walking meditation. You have mindfulness of the body, and so on, right? So all those deal with the body. So we begin our meditation by watching our postures, calming our gestures, and so on. So we begin with the body. When the body has calmed down, then we notice there are feelings, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, so we watch them, and regard them as mind-made, as impermanent, and let them go. And then when the feelings are calm, or we can take charge of the feelings, thoughts are still there, right? Thoughts. So how different here, thoughts and feelings? Feelings kind of reflect the 5 physical senses. We see something, hear something, smell something, taste something, touch something. And then we feel nice, not nice, or we ignore them, right? So those are feelings. Then we kind of more or less, it's quite settled with that, but then the thoughts, memories, ideas are still there. So you have to deal with them on the third level. So third level, third practice, Chittanupassana. We deal with letting go of thoughts. So another way of looking at this is, in the first satipatthana, we let go of the body. Second satipatthana, we let go of feelings. Third satipatthana, we let go of thoughts. And then various realities, awareness of realities arise in our minds. We begin to notice the hindrances, vulnerable truth, and so on and so forth. And we just watch until we attain very deep peace of mind. Then we do nothing, just enjoy the peace. So this is a very simple summary of the 4 focuses of mindfulness. You want more details, you can read volume 13, where it's all about the 4 focuses of mindfulness, SD13. Now, let's look at the first satipatthana. Among dwells exertive, clearly aware, mindful, observing or watching the body, in the body, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. In fact, there is a template here. The words are all the same except the highlighted words here. No? In other words, body in the body becomes feelings and feelings, change to the mind in the mind, and change to the dharmas in the dharmas. Number 1, a monk here refers to a meditator, because nuns are not mentioned either, so it means a meditator. To be a monk, a nun, any one of us was a lay person. Dwells here means to practice. And then you have a set of words: exertive, clearly aware, mindful. Exertive, clearly aware, mindful. These are stages of exerting your energies, directing your mind. Right? Exertive means you putting effort. Make sure your priorities are right. And then you direct all your attention to the object, for example, the body. And then you know what to do. You're mindful of it, watching the breath, for example. Observing or watching the body in the body. This is technical meditation language. Watching the body in the body. You don't watch the body, but you see something else. You see the body as the body, if you like. The body here is, for example, the breath. So you watch the breath as the breath. You don't see the breath as being something permanent. You don't see the breath as God. You don't see the breath as any other thing. The breath is what it is. Yes, it is wind maybe. You can reflect on wind, but ultimately you have to see it as impermanent, not as a thing. Okay? See the body as body. Be aware of your body movements. Be mindful of your 4 postures: standing, walking, sitting, and lying down. And all the actions that you are doing, you're mindful. Then there's also being aware of the various stages of decomposition. It's not an easy meditation. You don't do it by yourself. You should be under the mentorship of a qualified, experienced teacher. So these are various meditation we use. They are called body-based meditation because you use the body as your objects of meditation. So this is the first set. And what is the purpose of this meditation? Not to attain magical powers. Sutta says, removing covetousness and displeasure in the world. Letting go. Removing means letting go. Or removing, meaning you have nothing to do with it. Covetousness and displeasure. Abhijja, domanassa. These are short forms, samyak-dokki. Covetousness means desiring what other people have, desiring something outside of us. So this is sensual desire, right? Sense objects are all outside of us. So we desire them. And if we don't get them, we feel unhappy. Displeasure is a kind of mental thing here. So here, covetousness and displeasure refers to liking, disliking. In fact, these are the first two mental hindrances. They refer to all the five mental hindrances. Right? The first mental hindrance is sensual desire. Number two is ill will. Number three is thought and torpor. Number four is restlessness and remorse. The fifth one is doubt. So these two represent all the five. So in other words, we practice satipatthana to let go, overcome, to break the hindrances, overcome the hindrances in the world. In other words, all this has to do with worldliness. While we are still unawakened in the world, this is what we do. And then same thing we apply to feelings, to the mind, to dharmas. Very practical approach. So the sutta ends here. Right? So let us recapitulate. Right? So here you see the Buddha reminding us to be like the wise monkey. You see the five senses are like traps. Right? You see them from afar, don't get trapped in them. Then when you're meditating, you reflect on all the five senses as being impermanent. Then you let go of them, then you deal with the mind. And then after that with feelings. Second is feelings, and then the mind. And then you notice the realities arising as a result. Then you attain very wonderful peace. You might go on to attain jhana, right? So you can attain jhana through the four satipatthanas also, if you like. Right? So all these are discussed in great detail in the Sutta Discovery series. So look up those essays, read them up. You find there are lots of cross-references in the footnotes. So this is where you want to further study, look at the footnotes, and then go on, when you finish studying the sutta, go on to read up the footnotes. Right? My advice is study the whole sutta first, from beginning to end, so you have some idea, a very good idea what the sutta is about. And then second round, you go on to look at the footnotes in connection with the context. So that way you have a very wonderful self-disciplined way of broadening your understanding of the suttas. And then don't forget the purpose of the suttas. It's your meditation. It's not just to study sutta and then go around quarreling with other Buddhists and non-Buddhists, or how much we know about the suttas. It's rather the purpose of all this is to help us be at peace with ourselves. So with that, we end today's study. Once again, let us spend a quiet time. Today we have reflected on the Makkaṭa Sutta, on the nature of the monkey, how it can be trapped, the wise monkey which keeps away from the trap. The trap here, of course, is Māra, the various aspects of our senses that can distract and weaken us. So the idea is to focus our minds, put all our energies together like the laser beam, which is just light, but it's so focused that it becomes very powerful. So when the mind is focused also, the mind is very powerful. It can cut through ignorance and craving. Reflecting in this way is very good karma. With the power of such good karma and various other good things we have been doing, may we attain peace of mind, success, and blessings in this life itself. Most of all, may we be blessed with the inspiration and energy and wisdom to bring happiness to others too. Most importantly, may we in this life itself aspire to stream winning and attain the goal of stream winning in this life itself, at least stream winning. In this moment of peace, let us send out our loving kindness to all those who have helped us to learn the Dharma, all those who have supported us in our efforts to learn the Dharma and to teach the Dharma. May we also send out this loving kindness to benefit our loved ones, our friends, people we do not know, even our enemies, that they may be well and happy, that we all become loving and kind, compassionate friends. And to those who have not seen the Dharma, not touched by the Dharma, may they feel the Dharma truly and happily, that they become liberated beings themselves. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.